Kelly came into my life, I guess, 10 years ago-ish, and she has been a powerful presence in my life ever since she came into it.
Before the headlines, before the courtroom battles, before millions of people began calling Kelly Clarkson one of the strongest women in entertainment, Blake Shelton thought she might not survive what was coming. For years, fans believed they knew Kelly Clarkson. She was the cheerful girl who shocked America by winning the very first season of American Idol. She laughed through interviews, cracked jokes on The Voice, and somehow made every stage feel effortless. To the public, she looked like someone who always landed on her feet. But according to Blake Shelton, that image hid a completely different reality. After nearly 2 decades of friendship, Blake finally admitted something that surprised even Kelly's biggest fans. During the darkest chapter of her life, he genuinely feared that the woman everyone saw smiling on television was about to completely break apart. And looking back today, he says he has never been happier to have been proven wrong. Because the Kelly Clarkson he witnessed behind closed doors wasn't simply talented. She was a fighter. The story you're about to hear isn't really about celebrity gossip or a failed marriage. It's about betrayal by the people Kelly trusted the most, impossible choices, and the quiet strength that transformed her from a reality show winner into one of the most respected women in the entertainment industry. But to understand why Blake Shelton now calls Kelly one of the toughest people he has ever known, we have to start with a decision that shocked Hollywood. A decision that made millions of fans ask the same question. Why would someone willingly walk away from one of television's biggest success stories? When Kelly Clarkson announced that The Kelly Clarkson Show would come to an end after its current season, the entertainment world was stunned. At first, people assumed there had to be another reason. Maybe ratings were falling. Maybe there were problems behind the scenes. Maybe another network had offered her something even bigger. But the truth was much simpler and much more personal. Kelly wasn't chasing another opportunity. She was choosing something she believed had become even more important than success itself. Her children. After years of balancing music, television, business meetings, tours, and endless public appearances, Kelly admitted that she no longer wanted her schedule to control her life. Fame had given her incredible opportunities, but it had also taken something she could never get back. Time. Time with the 2 people who mattered most. She explained that nothing, not awards, money, or television ratings, could compete with being present as a mother. To many people, that sounded like an emotional but understandable decision. But Blake Shelton saw something much deeper. He knew this wasn't simply a famous celebrity taking a break. It was the final chapter of a battle that had been raging for years. A battle that nearly destroyed Kelly long before anyone outside her inner circle realized what was happening. According to Blake, there was a period when tragedy seemed to arrive one blow after another. Her marriage was falling apart. Her personal life was becoming front-page news. Legal disputes were growing more complicated every month. Every interview became another opportunity for strangers to judge her. And every headline seemed determined to remind the world that Kelly Clarkson, the woman who always smiled, was suddenly living through a nightmare. Blake later admitted something surprisingly honest. He expected her to collapse. Not because she lacked courage, but because anyone carrying that much pressure would eventually crack. He watched reporters speculate about her future. He watched social media turn private pain into public entertainment. And he wondered how long one person could keep standing before everything finally became too much. But then something unexpected happened. Kelly didn't disappear. She didn't quit. She didn't allow herself to become the victim everyone expected. Instead, she became stronger. That realization completely changed the way Blake looked at his longtime friend. For years, people had described Kelly as the cheerful pop star who happened to have an incredible voice. Blake realized they had been looking at the wrong woman all along. Behind the laughter was someone whose determination had been forged long before television cameras ever found her. Because resilience wasn't something Kelly learned during her divorce. It had been part of her story since childhood. Long before Grammy Awards. Before sold-out arenas. Before becoming one of America's most recognizable voices. Kelly Clarkson was just a little girl growing up in Texas, trying to understand why her family had suddenly fallen apart. When her parents divorced, Kelly was only 6 years old. The separation didn't simply end a marriage. It divided the entire family. Her siblings went in different directions. Life changed almost overnight. For a child, those kinds of wounds rarely disappear. They simply become quieter. As Kelly grew older, those painful memories stayed with her, shaping the way she viewed relationships, trust, and even herself. Years later, fans would hear those emotions poured into one of her most emotional songs. But at the time, she was simply a teenager trying to make sense of experiences that felt far bigger than she was. Ironically, music entered her life almost by accident. One day, a choir teacher overheard Kelly singing. There was no grand audition, no elaborate performance, just a young girl singing to herself. The teacher immediately recognized something extraordinary. It was the first person who truly saw what Kelly herself hadn't fully realized. She had a voice capable of changing her future. Still, talent alone doesn't pay the bills. Before the world knew her name, Kelly worked ordinary jobs just to survive. She waited tables, worked in movie theaters, took promotional jobs wherever she could find them. Like thousands of aspiring singers, she chased opportunities while wondering if success would ever come. Then, in 2002, everything changed. A brand new television competition called American Idol was searching for contestants. Nobody knew the show would become a cultural phenomenon. Nobody knew it would launch one of the biggest careers in modern music. And nobody knew that one young woman from Texas was about to make television history. Week after week, audiences watched Kelly perform with a combination of power and sincerity that immediately separated her from everyone else. When she finally won the competition, America celebrated the birth of its first American Idol. It looked like the perfect fairy tale. A regular girl becomes an overnight superstar. Dream accomplished. Happy ending. Except, that wasn't the ending at all. It was only the beginning of an entirely different battle. Because once the cameras stopped rolling, Kelly discovered something almost every young artist eventually learns. Winning fame is one thing. Keeping control of your own career is something else entirely. Almost immediately, she found herself facing enormous pressure from powerful figures inside the music industry. Executives had very specific ideas about who Kelly Clarkson should become. What songs she should sing. How she should sound. What image she should project. And perhaps most importantly, who should make those decisions. Kelly had her own ideas. The people signing the contracts had theirs. The collision was inevitable. One moment perfectly captured the growing conflict. Kelly believed deeply in a song she had written. A deeply personal song inspired by childhood pain and family heartbreak. Some powerful executives reportedly dismissed it, questioning both the song and Kelly's abilities as a songwriter. For many young artists, that would have been enough. Most would have quietly accepted the criticism and moved on. Kelly didn't. She fought for the song anyway. Eventually, the world heard it, and it became one of the defining songs of her entire career. That victory taught Kelly an important lesson. Standing up for yourself often comes with consequences. But losing your own voice costs far more. She would be forced to learn that lesson again, in an even bigger way. When it came time to record an album that reflected the darker emotions she had been carrying, executives pushed back hard. Commercial success mattered. Creative freedom didn't. Kelly was reportedly offered extraordinary financial incentives to change direction. Most artists would have accepted. Kelly refused. She knew the decision could damage her career. She knew critics might misunderstand the album. She knew sales could suffer. And yet, she chose authenticity over comfort. It wasn't the easiest path, but it revealed something Blake Shelton would later recognize immediately when they became friends. Kelly Clarkson had an almost stubborn refusal to compromise the things that mattered most to her. It was a quality that earned admiration, but it would also make her future heartbreak infinitely more painful. Because the next challenge Kelly faced wouldn't come from music executives. It would come from the people she trusted enough to call family. Kelly Clarkson had spent years fighting record executives, but nothing could have prepared her for the battle that would come from inside her own home. Sometimes, the people capable of hurting us the most aren't strangers. They're the people we trust without question. And that's exactly what Kelly believed she had found when Brandon Blackstock entered her life. Unlike the executives she'd spent years resisting, Brandon represented something completely different. Stability, family, a future that finally felt safe. The two began dating in 2012, and from the outside, they looked like the perfect match. Brandon understood the entertainment industry. He came from one of Nashville's most influential families, and perhaps more importantly, he already shared a close relationship with Blake Shelton. In fact, Blake wasn't just a friend watching from the sidelines. He openly encouraged Brandon to marry Kelly. Years later, Blake would laugh about how excited he was to see the relationship become official. To him, Kelly wasn't just another celebrity friend anymore. She had become family. When Kelly and Brandon married in 2013, it seemed like everything she'd been searching for had finally fallen into place. She had a successful career, a growing family, and a husband she believed would always protect her interests. It felt like the beginning of her happiest chapter. Instead, it quietly became the beginning of the most painful one. Soon after the wedding, Kelly made a decision that seemed perfectly logical at the time. She placed her career in the hands of the man she trusted most. Brandon became her manager. His family's management company handled the business side of her career, while Kelly focused on what she loved, making music and performing. To Kelly, this wasn't just business. It was trust. She believed that no one would ever look after her better than her own husband. Looking back now, that decision changed everything. Because when love and business become impossible to separate, even small problems can become devastating. Over the next several years, Kelly's career continued reaching new heights. She welcomed 2 beautiful children. She became one of the most recognizable personalities on television. Then came another opportunity that introduced an entirely new generation of fans to Kelly Clarkson. In 2018, she joined The Voice. And almost instantly, viewers fell in love with her chemistry with Blake Shelton. Their playful arguments became one of the show's biggest attractions. Every episode felt less like a competition, and more like 2 close friends trying to outsmart each other. Fans laughed. Contestants admired them. Television audiences assumed those smiles reflected reality. But Blake knew something viewers couldn't see. Behind the jokes, Kelly was carrying an unbearable weight. She was balancing music, television, motherhood, business responsibilities, and an exhausting schedule that seemed to grow larger every year. She kept smiling, because that's what everyone expected Kelly Clarkson to do. Then, everything exploded. In 2020, Kelly filed for divorce. The announcement shocked fans across the world. 4 years, the marriage had appeared happy. But behind closed doors, the relationship had been breaking apart. What followed wasn't simply another Hollywood divorce. It became a years-long legal war, one that placed Kelly in an almost impossible position. The situation became even more complicated because Brandon wasn't just her husband. He was also deeply connected to the business that managed her career. Suddenly, personal heartbreak and professional conflict collided. And standing uncomfortably in the middle of it all was Blake Shelton. Brandon had played an important role in Blake's career for years. Kelly was one of Blake's closest friends. No matter what happened, someone Blake cared about was going to get hurt. According to Blake, it was one of the most difficult situations he'd ever experienced. He couldn't fix the marriage. He couldn't stop the court battle. The only thing he could do was remind Kelly that she wasn't facing it alone. While lawyers argued in court, Kelly did something remarkable. She kept working. Every day, she walked onto the set of The Kelly Clarkson Show with the same warm smile viewers had always known. Most audiences never realized they were watching someone whose personal life was falling apart behind the scenes. Instead of allowing heartbreak to define her, Kelly turned work into her escape. The stage became the one place where she could forget, if only for a little while, everything happening outside the studio. Blake later admitted he had no idea how she managed it. Neither did most people watching at home. As the legal battle continued, new details slowly began emerging. Financial disagreements, management disputes, questions surrounding commissions and contracts. What many people initially believed would be a routine divorce became far more complicated. Eventually, legal rulings favored Kelly on several important financial issues. The outcome wasn't just about money. It was about independence. For the first time in years, Kelly regained complete control over her own career. According to Blake, that victory changed something inside her. She wasn't simply surviving anymore. She was rebuilding, piece by piece, on her own terms. Then came another decision that surprised Hollywood. Kelly packed up her life and left Los Angeles behind. She moved to New York. For some celebrities, changing cities is little more than a change of scenery. For Kelly, it symbolized something much bigger. A fresh beginning. A place where painful memories no longer followed her everywhere she looked. Her talk show continued. Her children settled into a new routine. And little by little, the woman Blake once feared might completely fall apart began looking happier than she had in years. Around the same time, fans noticed another major change. Kelly appeared healthier. She had lost a significant amount of weight, and as often happens with celebrities, speculation spread almost instantly across social media. Rumors became headlines. Headlines became assumptions. But Kelly chose honesty over silence. She explained that her health journey wasn't about chasing unrealistic beauty standards. It was about taking care of herself. She spoke openly about making medical and lifestyle changes after learning important information about her health. Rather than allowing strangers to tell her story, she told it herself. That honesty became one more reason fans admired her. Not because she looked different, but because she refused to pretend life had been easy. Then, in 2023, she released an album that many people believe is the most personal work of her entire career. Chemistry. Instead of hiding the emotions surrounding the end of her marriage, Kelly poured them directly into the music. Love, hope, disappointment, heartbreak, acceptance. Every song felt less like entertainment and more like pages from a private diary. Blake later admitted listening to the album wasn't easy. Not because the songs weren't beautiful, but because he knew exactly how much real pain existed behind every lyric. By the time the legal battles finally came to an end, Kelly Clarkson wasn't the same woman who had entered them. She had changed, not because hardship made her bitter, but because it reminded her exactly what mattered: family, peace, freedom. Today, Blake Shelton says people spent years misunderstanding Kelly Clarkson. They saw a television personality, a pop star, a reality show winner. He saw someone far different. Someone who refused to let betrayal define her. Someone who kept showing up for her children even when her own world was falling apart. Someone who proved that real strength isn't measured by how loudly you fight, but by how many times you're willing to quietly stand back up. Looking back, Blake says he was wrong to think Kelly would break. She didn't. If anything, she became stronger than ever. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson hidden inside her story. Success isn't measured by Emmy Awards, hit records, or million-dollar television contracts. Real success is walking away from anything that costs your peace. Kelly Clarkson had already conquered the music industry. She had conquered television. But her greatest victory wasn't winning American Idol, or becoming one of America's biggest stars. It was reclaiming her own life. And according to Blake Shelton, that's the version of Kelly Clarkson the world should remember. Because behind every smile, every joke, and every standing ovation was a woman who never stopped fighting, even when almost no one realized there was a battle at all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, let us know in the comments. Which chapter of Kelly Clarkson's journey surprised you the most? And if you love deep dives into the untold stories behind Hollywood's biggest stars, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next documentary.